Oh, cool. I'm live. Awesome. All right. Welcome to the stream. It's going to suck because I've never streamed anything in my life. So let's do it. Soon. Sorry, just, okay. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing as far as streaming, so expect it to be terrible. All right. I like the ZSH shell. Bash is like the default that comes with any Linux distro. I prefer ZSH, so that's what's going on here. But I haven't done this in a long time, so I have to look everything up. Yeah, that's pretty obvious. What? Shit. I don't remember this command. Oh my god. I'm usually on a MacBook, so I'm not used to this touchpad or keyboard or anything. So I really am going into this pretty recklessly. Okay. Cool. Just looking at the config here. Sorry, I'm checking the stream on the other computer. Okay, cool. I wonder if I can make this stream public while streaming. Oh, I can. Oh, as soon as it's done. Yeah, maybe I can't. That's okay. All right. All right, got my cool shell. NVM's a good idea. Let's do NVM. NVM, I assume, stands for Node Version Manager, probably. Yep. So Node is always coming out with new versions. And NVM just makes it very easy to switch between them. There's also a Windows NVM. It's unrelated, but does a similar thing. All right. All right. So let's set it up for Bash. Let's see what Bash. I'm just going to put this right in the ZSHRC. So it's a config here. Oh, shit. Okay. Over here, looking like a total. Oh, yeah. All right. Got it. This is this is an HP laptop with a really weird keyboard. I have to hold function to use escape. What? That is very annoying. I'm gonna have to look for a setting for that. Try that again. I actually wrote it too. What the hell's wrong with me? I saved that. Oh my god. This is not going to play well with Vim or V. I know it. Nano's idiot proof. And I'm an idiot. So it works pretty well. Yay, NPM. All right. Dubnium. Dub. All right, go with that. We have Node. Awesome. So I chose to use Linux because not everyone has a Mac. In fact, I've seen that most people starting out don't have a Mac. Linux is free. Anyone can use Linux. So that's why I chose to go with that. But I use WebStorm as my editor, and that's not free. And that's okay. You can follow along in the future videos in your own editor. But yeah, as a free one, I recommend VS Code. VS Code's awesome. I'm just so used to WebStorm. I used it personally for very little while, and then I got hired and I use it at work because they let me pick my own editor, so that's cool. Yeah, I'm gonna install WebStorm. Don't mind those other files. I had a little difficulty getting streaming set up. Turned out it's really easy. It's like built into Google Hangouts. A long time since I've used Linux. Imagine it's not SH. And it is. Um, I don't know if I should. Hmm. Yeah, let me that looks crazy. Let's see. I'm gonna kill the video while I activate this. Be right back. Did that do anything? It did not. There. Oh, hello. This will work. Oh, I look crazy. All right. Look at me while I activate my WebStorm. Remember my password. What the hell is my password? I think that's it. Awesome. Got it. All right. Back to, there we go. I'm getting the hang of this. I think that's about it. Not that hard to set up a dev environment. What the hell is this? And I'm not already in there? Close it. Okay, goodbye. Okay. Um, hmm. Yeah, shit. I think that's about it. I can show you VS Code, I guess, since I'm here. Very simple to install. Probably. Oh, looks like it's not quite as simple in this distro. That's okay. It will get this installed. Sorry, it's been such a long time. All right. So, yeah. I know I've seen this before. Oh, you know what? What am I doing? There's an easier way. I'm an idiot. There is an easier way, and I should be showing you this rather than the hard way. Okay, go to the App Center or Software Center if you're just running straight Ubuntu. This is Elementary OS, by the way, or Elementary Linux or something like that. My first time using this distro too, so. Does this not have snaps? Holy shit, no snaps. Okay. That's not it. Interesting though. Is it Snapcraft? No. Snapd maybe? I'm making myself look like a noob. Whatever. We can install it this way. What? I already installed code. I don't know. Here it is, though. Thank you. Visual Studio Code runs on any platform. Great editor, free editor, obviously. Yeah, tons of plugins. I don't know. ESLint. That's great. That's that easy to install plugins. All right, I think that's it. I have tried PyCharm. And you were my first viewer, Alexander. Welcome. Are you from the Facebook group or did you just randomly find me? This is my first stream ever, by the way. So it's probably, it's definitely terrible. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, I don't know if you noticed this WebStorm. It's like just like PyCharm, but for pretty much everything not Python, JavaScript and that type of stuff. What? You found me by typing Python coding? I don't even have that keyword in here. That's okay. What do you want to know about Python? Why did I show up for Python coding? That is weird. This is actually a pretty fresh install. It's a Python version I'm running. Yeah, old school. Animal streams with like snakes and stuff. I used to have a Python. Oh, I already have Python 3 installed. Check that out. Actually, I do have a PyCharm license too. I forgot about that. I got that on sale when they were promoting it on Django's website. And we do use Python at work, so I figured good idea to get it on sale. Unfortunately, I probably won't be doing much Python on this channel, but maybe. Who knows? Hard to say, but probably not. It's not my stack of choice. I do love the language, but it's my project I have coming up will be JavaScript, most likely React and TypeScript. If you're interested in that, subscribe. Or subscribe anyways. You'll be the first subscriber, so you get bragging rights for that. If that's worth bragging about. This channel that I just set up and I haven't even set it up. I don't have I should do that. I guess I can tell you about this project I have in mind, though. And it'll be sort of like a program on this channel. It'll be called Whiskey and Code. And the project is about whiskey infinity bottles for whiskey snobs. You don't have to be a whiskey snob to watch along, though. It's basically you're blending stuff in a bottle and you're keeping track of the contents. It doesn't have to be whiskey. It's just targeting whiskey snobs. I can call them snobs because I'm sort of a whiskey snob myself. But that won't be in Python. Well, I don't know. I plan on making it in Firebase, but I tend to explore around, so who knows? What's the message? Oh, I can hide that. Just Google Hangouts. I installed OBS, but this laptop runs an Intel chip, Intel graphics, and OBS doesn't support that. So it would be software encoding. And I don't like the idea of that. So Hangouts it is. Here's the back end, actually. There you go. All crazy. Guess I did click to open that, didn't I? Oh, no, what am I doing? You know what? I skipped right through that first screen where I should have imported my settings from my account. I'm an idiot. Bash, why not? Hmm. You know anything about this? And it seems everything is fine. All right. PyCharm. I might consider using Python for this project. Maybe deploy it. Maybe deploy it to Heroku because they use Postgres. Thing is, I don't want to admin my own server. So Heroku would be good. Firebase would be great. In Python, I could use Django, which would be fast. But then I'd have to use Django REST framework. I'll think about it. Probably Firebase, though. Well, I think that's it. This video is just about setting up a dev environment. I might hop on another stream in a few minutes, maybe. Because I do have mock-ups for this project. What's your skill level, Alexander? Are you learning, or do you do this for a living? I assume Python programmer. Maybe I should open source it. I also have another project I'll be participating in. Okay, beginner level. Cool. Why Python? What makes you choose Python? Is it what they're teaching at school? By the way, I don't know if you noticed, but there's a huge delay on this. They only teach Java at school. Are you participating in that? Are you learning Java? You're teaching Java to beginners? Man, that's not new, actually. When I was in school, they were teaching Java. Oh, course is full. Okay. Well, I think I don't know if I should put my personal opinions on things out there. Yeah, why not? I'm not a huge fan of Java. It's really verbose, kind of old. I mean, they do some new stuff, but I think you're considering Java or Python. Yeah, I would definitely go with Python. I think it's the #1 language right now, anyways. Java seems like someone at work actually recently said that Java is the new COBOL, which is COBOL's a really old programming language that like is still in use in some old stuff today. And I think that's Java. It's still around just because it's still around. Like it's not that it's particularly great, and it's definitely not I don't know Java, so I don't want to sound like an idiot, but yeah, I also recommend start with Python. It's like the closest thing to English. Like Python is just it's a great entry to programming because it kind of takes the syntax difficulties out of programming. You know what? Let's write a hello world. Why not? Make a little dev directory, I guess. That's part of my setup that I haven't done yet. I haven't used Linux in a while, so I will continue to look like an idiot on here. So forgive me for that. Not even going to use an editor for this. Okay, it's been a long time since I've used Python. It was 2.7 back then. And I know they've changed the print statement. Oh, actually, you know what? They have this REPL. Python. think this is the wrong syntax for Python 3. It is. So they changed it to this. Yes, okay. All right, let's write a Python program. I really just did, actually. Good. Go made some Python. It's the first Python I've written in a long time. Horrible, slow live Linuxes. What was it running on? Like a USB drive? Because if you think that's slow, there was this. I wonder if that's still around. This distro called Knoppix. Knoppix is still around. Oh, it is. Okay, yeah, USB 2.0. Yeah, it looks like Knoppix has gotten big. So if I remember right, the original intent with Knoppix was that it... Shit. I'm going to look really old, but it fit on a floppy disk. I think this was Knoppix. Yeah, if it was persistent, then it was storing data on the USB. 4 gigs is not a lot for a persistent live setup. But yeah, Knoppix used to run from a floppy disk, which was insanely slow. And then it got bigger and we stopped using old stuff. So it would fit on a CD. You could burn it to a CD and run it live from a CD. There was no persistence, obviously. But I used to use things like that for fixing Windows, ironically. Back when Windows would get full of viruses, hard viruses. Vivaldi browser. I know I've heard of that. What is that? Is that one of those secure things? Recommend Vivaldi. Look. Why do you recommend Vivaldi? Okay, it's one of these privacy-oriented things. Yeah, I think there was another one called Komodo that I heard about. I wonder what browser engine this runs. Available here. All right. Designed for power users. I like it. So this Linux distro, Elementary, is supposed to appeal to Mac users and be very user-friendly. But there's no default program to open a Debian installer. That's seems like that's like one of the basics. Okay, based on Chromium. Awesome. I am totally on board with that. Fun fact, Microsoft Edge is about to adopt Chromium. Thank God. Yeah. Idiot. I should probably change my password on this computer because I know one day I'm going to accidentally type it into like an unmasked text box and everyone's going to see my password. That'll be embarrassing. And fans. Can you hear the fans on this? Is it getting through to the mic? Um, don't need to import stuff. Yeah. I already had a license to PyCharm, but I did not plan to install it. But yeah, you suggested it, and I'm setting up a dev environment, so why not? Vivaldi, I've never installed. I've never used Vivaldi in my life, and I'm a web developer, so good idea. I like these themes. I'll go with the default for now. Video tutorials of a browser? That's okay. Well, this is a nice interface. Search Bing. Bing. I would have expected DuckDuckGo. Okay, it's there. That's weird that Bing is the default. Like, I'm pretty sure they track you. Checking out some hotkeys. Same. DevTools. Install an anonymous browser, and the first thing I go to is Google. Yep, that is Chromium. Awesome. Thanks for the recommendation. I like the dark theme. And there's stuff. Notes? Oh man, that is convenient. That is really convenient. Would have been cool if there was a like a way to kill the tab in there. Interesting settings, maybe. Oh, cool. Shift escape, easy enough. Except this keyboard is really dumb. Okay, yeah, shift escape, awesome. That is a lot of preset bookmarks. Yeah, yeah, I know about the task manager. That is, I've been stuck in some loops. So I wonder is this browser open source? I like the loading stuff. Oh, that's cool. They added a lot of bookmarks. So I'm wondering, these are a lot of commercial bookmarks. So I wonder if they're like sponsors. They do have a store. That's a cool shirt. I almost want to order a shirt. Never even used the browser. That's the power of some good marketing. Do they have laptop stickers? Raspberry Pi case. They do have stickers. Yep, might get on that later. Not going to buy stuff live. That's probably not a good idea. Put my address and credit card number in here. So how far have you gotten into Python? And also, what learning resources are you using? There is it's funny, this video started out as like dev setup and now it's just a hangout. Oh, I think I did hear that about Vivaldi originating from the co-CEO of Opera. Yeah, that's, for some reason I was thinking that was Komodo, unless, wait. Okay, I was thinking maybe Komodo changed their name to Vivaldi. Like maybe it's the same thing, but no, it's not. Is it called Dragon now? That's weird. Hey, Nocturnal Leo. That is Leo. Going by memory here because I'm not fast enough to pull it on my other computer. And I have Facebook up on my other computer now, and I still don't see you. Leo Penaloza, though, I think. Is that how you pronounce your name? Also, shit. I should have asked before just blurting your name out like that too. I'm sorry. This is my first live stream ever in my life. So I can delete this video if you need me to. I'm an idiot. Okay, cool. So yeah, pretty much the dev setup is done. But you'll be able to replay the video.
I don't understand.
Google thinks I was talking to it. You'll be able to replay the video and see what I've done. This was like half dev setup, at most half, and then it just turned into a hangout. This, I believe this is based on GNOME. This is elementary. Hey, Tommy's in here. All right. Cool. Yeah, I've been streaming for a while now. I've been hanging out with Alexander. He found me randomly. He's not even in the Facebook group. But Alexander, if you are interested in the Facebook group we are in, there you go. There's a link. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, there's a Facebook group with people who are learning to code. There's tons of Facebook groups, but that's the one I posted in. Pretty closed off group. We're kind of a spinoff from, have you ever heard of Code Gang or Dreaded Dev? He disappeared off the face of the earth and deleted his Facebook group, but luckily we sort of retreated to another one in time. He was getting huge on YouTube. Like, he was growing fast. I mean, he wasn't huge, but he was growing fast. And then he just stopped. I think he had like 15,000 subscribers. He had crazy momentum going. Yeah. Yeah, Leo said he goes to his own Facebook group, and then a riot started. Basically, yeah. Luckily, another spin-off group got created. And yeah, the delay is not too bad. Just noticeable. But yeah, Dreaded Dev, I think he put too much of his personality online, and he grew too fast and got too big. And probably, if I had to guess, I haven't talked to the guy, but if I had to guess, his job probably saw his videos or something, and he was always talking about like smoking weed and things like that. Yeah, I miss the energy in the old group. You know, we have like 300 something members in the new group. The old group had, I think, 800 last time I looked, probably over 1,000 at one point. So yeah, I try to keep some activity going in the group. I post more in that group than any other group. Not that it's a lot, but you know, do what I can. If I hear something, I'll post an article and things like that. I just noticed in the analytics, this thing is counting me as a viewer. It's kind of sad, right? Leo says, is it the members or is it the fact that people are finally getting dev jobs? What do you mean? Like the fact that there's less activity? Is that what you're referring to? I think it's a combination of things. There are fewer members. And I think there were probably people who were motivated and that may have lost motivation, which I bet is probably temporary. And that's sort of just from my own experience. Because as you guys know from the Facebook group, and Alexander is my first viewer ever on this channel, so that's cool. So hopefully I'm filling in the details all right. But coding's been a passion of mine for most of my life. But my life hasn't been exactly smooth. Like, I haven't been able to follow that passion into a career for a very long time. And so I know what it's like to be motivated and then you lose motivation over time, and hopefully they will regain their motivation like I did. Yeah, Alexander is not even from the Facebook group. Alexander found me from typing Python coding, even though I have Python nowhere in the title or tags or anything. Total random find. I'm pretty excited about that. $7 years? I don't think. I don't know what I would have said 7 years about, but it's not 7 years of experience. Yeah, YouTube search is really smart. No, my experience is, I mean, how far back do you want to go? I wrote my first line of code when I was like 9. I had this children's laptop that had BASIC in it for some reason. I don't know why that was on a. Let me put something cooler on the screen. I have this Vivaldi download screen. That's kind of dumb, right? I wrote a Python program impromptu, little hello world deal. And Alexander was the only viewer, so it says hello, Alexander. All right, there we go. Oh, weird. So yeah, my experience, I started first line of code when I think it was 8 or 9. Then I learned HTML in like early 2000s, earlier, like 2001, 2002, something like that. Briefly got into Visual Basic around age 15. That was Visual Basic 6.0. I'm 31 now, for reference. Then got into Delphi, and I was using Delphi for, hobby level for a few years. Then I got a Delphi job. The thing is, I kind of, at some point in my learning, I was young and dumb and thought I knew enough. And I managed to get that Delphi job. And I started out as below entry level too. Like, I didn't lie to get it or anything. They knew. They knew who they were hiring, basically. But I sucked at it. I learned a lot in that job, but I sucked at it. I think I was 19 at that time. Visual Basic. Yeah, Leo says he thought Visual Basic was drag and drop. Yeah, that's how you built the interface. It was drag and drop. And then you would write some code to hook it all up. Delphi is the same way too, except Delphi was totally different code. You could do a lot more with Delphi, and it was a lot more performant and everything. But I won't get too much into my personal life, like why I couldn't take the traditional path. Like I wanted to go to college, but it just wasn't an option for me. It's kind of a sad story. I'm not going to bum anybody out on this, but it is what it is. And so I had to get a normal job, after getting laid off of that programming job, the Delphi job. And that went on for like 10 years. I was working very hard to keep a roof over my head. And lots of hours, so it didn't leave any time to really invest into learning to code. Leo says he actually started programming via games, making Pokemon games, but it first started off as drag and drop, where we just put in the values. Game Maker 8 engine. I've heard of that. That's awesome. What really got me into sort of more serious programming beyond like, basic and like the HTML that I learned and then never used again for a long time, was RuneScape. I know somebody in there has heard of RuneScape. And it was old school RuneScape. And I was in this community and we hacked the crap out of RuneScape. Like we wrote so many automated things and yeah, that's where I really took off in Visual Basic. And then, oh yeah, we lost somebody. Am I still streaming? It only says one viewer, and it counts me as a viewer, but Alexander's still in here. So the analytics are lying. What the hell? Is everyone else still in here? Was I boring people with my long-winded life story? Leo's still around. All right. So with Game Maker, you didn't do any code? Was it even an option? Or MIT has this thing where you can build apps without code. Let me close. Oh, no, I don't want to close my YouTube thing. That's all right. Just do a new tab. I'll just build up a million tabs. Close them one by one. MIT App Inventor. Yeah, this is really cool, I thought. Because it's like it's drag and drop. Okay, Game Maker had code, but it was more drag and drop based. So code was like if you specifically needed something that wasn't in the drag and drop interface, I assume. But App Inventor is you can drag and drop logic, like for loops and if statements and that type of thing. So you can like sort of learn to think like a programmer without actual code. I don't know. I recommend Python personally starting out because it's like the closest thing to English, you know. But you can make an actual Android app with this, so that's kind of cool. Leo said it was code, but you learn from blocks like Scratch. You know, I keep hearing about Scratch. What is that? By MIT. With Python? What do you mean, Alexander? Oh, yeah. You can visual representation of how to program. Yeah, I think you can. There is a way to make Android apps with Python. I don't, in my opinion, it's not a good way. There might be other ways too. It's been a long time since I've looked into this. But back in my day, we had Kiwi, which was this. You can make some really cool looking apps, but Python, I feel like, just isn't quite the right language for the job. Yeah, Leo, I totally agree. Java is too verbose. Totally agree. Kotlin actually looks pretty cool. I do. Leo asks, how do I feel about React Native? I do like the idea of React Native, and I love React. I haven't used React Native yet, but I could totally get into it. I've been writing progressive web apps, so I haven't really had a need to write a native running web app, because if you've seen progressive web apps, they install just like they install and look just like native Android apps. The downside is that iOS, iPhones, iPads, that type of thing, iOS has not adopted progressive web apps yet. Pretty much every OS has, except for them. So that'd be the advantage of React Native. There are many ways to do many things in Python which are often not optimized right. I don't know about optimized. The thing about Python is it's a high-level language, meaning that there's a lot of abstraction from between bare metal and Python as a language itself, right? Like it's a dynamically typed language. So you can declare a variable without declaring its type. Do I have... No, I need... Oh, I didn't install the thing for the... Yeah, sorry, I'm reading comments and going off topic. Okay. Let's fire up Visual Studio Code because it's a free one that everyone can relate to. See if I remember Visual Studio Code. Yes. KM is language. Python. So Python is a dynamically typed language, right? So you can do name equals Alexander. And that's valid Python, if I remember Python right. And then you can do name equals 5. Right? Name equals true. Name equals 4.5, which is different from 5. It's a different type. 5 is an integer, and 4.5 is a float. Things like that is what makes the runtime environment run things slower. There's a whole lot more to it. That's just one of many things. So in general, yeah, Python is slower. Not as slow as Ruby, I guess. I mean, Ruby is insanely slow and hard to scale, but Python, the thing about the advantage that Python gives, the business advantage, which is important, is that it's very easy to code. Like it's the developer time is reduced, and developers are so much more expensive than processing power and memory and infrastructure. So is it slower as a language, as a runtime? Yeah, it's on the slow side. But it's so popular right now because the developer time is saved. And that's money. That's a lot of money. Developers are expensive. Plus, another advantage to Python is that it has C bindings. So you can write really high performance stuff in C and access that through Python. So when you need something optimized, you can do some really, really high optimization on it. Leo says sounds like Kotlin. I wish I had time to try Kotlin because that seems like a really cool language, right? Like can it compile web apps and Java apps and pretty much everything, right? Multi-platform, JVM, Android browser, and native. That's badass. Yeah. Yeah, idle Python's built-in IDE is I don't really have much experience with it. That's a big ass sentence you wrote. I love WebStorm. If I do anything Python, it's in WebStorm. I used it back when I used Python as Python was actually my first web development language. You know, not including like HTML, of course, but Python was my first back-end language. That's what got me into web development. And I used the free WebStorm back then, and it's great. I mean, I have before then I had a background in Delphi and Visual Basic before that. So those use IDEs. So I came from sort of the universe of using IDEs. And so PyCharm, it was cool that I could use PyCharm for Python. A lot of the old school badass programmers use like Vim or Emacs, which is all text-based. So I'm sort of ashamed to admit that I use like WebStorm and PyCharm and stuff, but it's so much more powerful. I'm not ashamed to admit it on the internet, just at work. Okay, Kotlin is typed. You can declare your types. I like a good typed language. I do not like for loops. Oh, they have an online environment thing. My experience with WebStorm. I use WebStorm every day at work. I love it. I wish I had a project I could show it to you in right now. The ugly curly braces. Yeah, Alexander, that's unfortunately those curly braces. You will use those eventually. You won't use those in Python. That's another thing I love about Python is that indentation is syntax. So it's like it forces you to only write beautiful code. Not that there's not ugly Python out there, but yeah. Uh, I don't like I've accepted the curly braces over time, but I agree with you. They seem unnecessary nowadays. Atom made with the Electron engine. Yeah, that is kind of funny. Why have I never made that connection before? I wonder if there's any relation there. Yeah, we can compare Python to JavaScript in terms of like those braces. Um, as I mentioned earlier, I have an app. I think it was only me and Alexander earlier. Is Tommy around? Tommy's been quiet. He might have left. It says I only have 3 viewers, and I think it's counting me, so I think Tommy left. But I have this personal project that I've put on the back burner for a while that I think I'm going to build live. Not in this stream, but soon. But it's about whiskey. It's for whiskey snobs. And I've been drinking whiskey during this stream, so. C#. I have looked at C#, and I think I may have written a hello world in C# years ago. But it looks just like Java. And I think it's replacing Java. Like if you look at job listings and stuff, it's I've been seeing a lot more C# lately. My thing is I hate Windows, which is kind of ironic because I used to only use Windows, and now. But yeah, I've kind of gotten away from the whole Microsoft ecosystem. They've gotten a lot better though, especially with Edge adopting Chromium. That's awesome. Python, let's see. Yeah, it looks a lot like Java. Not Python. I was answering a comment. Let's see. Python. How you define a function? I think it's been a long time. This, and then a colon, and then bam, it's indented. Let's see. It's probably print. Hello. And we concatenate. Is it a plus? 2 pluses? Nope. That's red. That's probably wrong then. Okay. Oh, damn. Let's save this somewhere. Yeah, I actually tried to learn Java at 1.2. Not a fan. Sure. Let's install extensions. What do you think about the semicolon in Java? I'm indifferent. I use semicolons. Coming from Delphi, their statements ended in semicolons, so I was kind of used to it. Okay, yeah, install Pylint, I guess. We got a no pip. Yeah, screw it. All right, we don't need all that fancy schmancy. Is it capital T in Python? Yeah, I think that was it. All right, that's a function. A Python function. Look at that. 2 lines. Beautiful. So now let's do a JavaScript function. JavaScript is flexible, very flexible, too flexible. You can really shoot yourself in the foot with JavaScript. This is the same program in JavaScript. Just hello and then name. And I use the semicolon, although it's optional, and I hate that because the rules for semicolon insertion is they're inconsistent. If I type weird, I'm not used to this keyboard. Not that I'm a good typist. What languages do you know, at least to its basics? Leo asks. I kind of, oh God. It was like a weird vortex thing. I jumped around for a long time. I did it as a hobby before I finally was able to pursue it as a career. But these are the languages that I've built stuff with. Elixir was my favorite, to be honest. I wish that was more popular. Also, I do not brag about my portfolio. It could be better, but it was good enough. I got hired. So, the portfolio was honestly the most boring project I've done. I was just like, I guess I just need to make it. Alexander says Python is perfect for scripts and JSON stuff. Python's perfect for a lot of stuff. It's big in machine learning. Tons of stuff. Django, I mean, Django's like the #1 or 2 web framework out there, I think. There's a site that ranks frameworks. It was up there. Yeah, this is it. It's putting back-end and front-end frameworks together. I don't like that, but yeah, Django right there. Okay, it's not Let's see. ASP.NET is backend. Ruby on Rails backend. ASP.NET MVC is older backend, I think. And then there's Django. So I'd say Django is, I guess, number 3. I'm grouping ASP.NET together with ASP.NET MVC. I know they're different, but it's Microsoft. Yeah, Django's huge, and Django's Python. And then there's Flask, which I'm sure is up here somewhere. There we go, Flask near the top. Nice 10 frames per second. Oh, that's no good. Yeah, I don't know what to blame that on. Could be my Wi-Fi. Could be that I have no hardware acceleration for this stream. I don't know. Luckily, we're just looking at text. How's my audio? Can you hear me? I'm using an onboard mic, so I know it's probably not the best. Leo says full stack JS. Yeah, actually, my portfolio site is Node on the back end. Should I show you the back end of my audio? Sounds good. That's good. I don't know if I want to pull up the back end to the site. Yeah, what the hell? Let's do it. Maybe I can edit this out. I don't know if YouTube can do that. Back end. I built the site on Keystone.js, which is really cool. It's actually a lot like Django. Oops, there's my email address. It's not the one for my account, though. I don't think I want to type in my main email address online. But it's a lot like Django, but for Node.js. Really cool. Really cool. They don't really even call themselves a CMS. They call themselves, or they don't call themselves a framework. They call themselves a CMS. Alexander's laughing at my whoops, there's my email. Yeah. I mean, that one was pretty obvious, though, right? You could figure that email address out. Maybe, you know what? Let me log in on my other laptop here with the really clicky keyboard. I'm thinking maybe I can log into, maybe I can hide the window while I log in, and maybe it won't show my email. Yeah, it does work like that. All right. Okay, let me hide my screen. Hey, it's me. I apologize that I'm ugly. Okay. Maybe that's 10 FPS too. Actually, going to do this incognito so it doesn't save my email address just in case that happens again. Jeffrey? Who's Jeffrey? All right. Presentation. Oh, well, thank you, Alexander. The Go logo. Oh yeah, the gopher. So yeah, this is the back end to the site. Obviously, there's only one user. So the way it works is you make these data models with code. Oh shit! I wonder. Maybe in another live stream, I'll pull up the source code to this. I kind of have to kill the stream soon. It's getting late. But yeah, you make these data models. And you can make data relationships. Right there, related technologies. It's been a long time since I've actually logged into this. Ashamed to admit. I don't remember how I have it modeled. All right, I have these projects. I think these relate to other like technologies and stuff. Yeah. So I set these up like tags. So you can see, if you see portfolios, and I think mine's one of them, I think it gives off the impression that it's bloated or something like, looks like there's a lot of filler. And I've had interviewers throw me curveballs based on my portfolio site. Like I had an interview for a React job, and one guy knew Go, one of the interviewers, and they asked me a Go question just to see if he could stump me with it, like to see if I was lying that I, knew all these other languages and didn't or something. So, but it's not like as fantastic as it seems. Like as you can see, look at all these technologies that I use just in my portfolio site, right? Like that's just one project. So in just a few projects, it built up a really big list. So it's not like as crazy as it looks. Tommy asks, do you recommend... Hey, Tommy, did you leave? Welcome back. Do you recommend getting a fast PC for web dev? No, you don't need a fast PC for web dev. If you are going to run... if you're going to use a lightweight editor like VS Code or maybe Atom can get really heavy if you install a bunch of plugins, but you can code with a low-spec computer. That's no problem. When you start running heavier stuff like WebStorm or Photoshop or Figma, I use Figma for design, that can start eating a bunch of memory. But aside from that, just coding, you don't need anything special for that. I actually started when I learned HTML in the early 2000s. I learned on a web TV. I didn't even have a computer back then. See what a web TV looks like. Yeah, they renamed it to MSN TV at some point. One of these old boxes. I had a different version, but it was like that. Didn't have a... I don't think I had a remote. It was just a keyboard. No mouse. And I would use online editors, which it was, early 2000s online, so totally different internet. It's actually kind of funny. That's a really low-res picture. I bet that was taken from a digital camera around that time. What? Classified as a weapon? What the hell? Are you using a low-spec computer, Tommy? And if so, what editor are you using? Was your battery dying, Alexander? Well, I appreciate you spending it here on my brand new channel that I haven't even set up yet. Really cool to get a random find. So, does anyone have any questions? I think I'm going to kill the stream in a second if nobody has any questions or anything, because it is getting late. Oh yeah, I was going to show the other way to define a function in JavaScript. Yeah. The multi-line, you can put those ugly curly braces in. Oops. What do you want me to explain about the code? And what code? Are you talking about the JavaScript code? Actually, there's a third way to do that, too. Well, what do you want to explain? These are function. Well, this one's a function declaration. And this one is a function expression, meaning that I'm assigning. There's actually, using older JavaScript, you could do it. This is the problem with JavaScript. Way too flexible. Two different ways to do the same thing. Yeah, all three of these functions are the same. Talk about remote work. So, well, I use my work laptop at the office and at home. Remote work is, it's pretty much remote when I'm at the office too. Like my project manager lives in New York. So there's really no difference. I leave work a little early because the traffic is hell. So I work around that, and then I finish up the day at home. Other than that, I mean, I still video conference with my coworkers even at the office because most of my coworkers aren't at my office. They're in other parts of the country. That's a Pomeranian growling in the background. I don't know if you hear him. I'm sure you do. And the bigger one's a lab. You guys have great computer specs for coding. 8 gigs of RAM? Yeah, that's my personal MacBook has. This computer has 8 gigs of RAM, actually. Let's see, how do I show that in Linux? Alt, that's probably. Yep, 8 gigs. Yeah, 8's plenty. I mean, you might notice some slowdown if you start running some heavy programs, like if you're running, let's say, WebStorm and Photoshop at the same time. But that's not even going to be that bad. I think I used to do that on 4 gigs, not on Windows, but yeah. I mean, not on Windows 10. I did it on Windows. I mean, yeah, there's better specs out there, but for development, that's plenty. Oh, your graphics card is shit? Look at this. Look at that. Oh, wait. No, I gotta highlight this. Intel. It's the worst. That probably explains the 10 frames per second. This is Linux. See? Ubuntu. Linux. See if I can get him to bark. Speak. Speak. There you go. Good boy. That's a boy, believe it or not. Oh yeah, it's a 1080p screen, so the text is really small because Linux still doesn't seem to have high DPI figured out. So I've got to make a few tweaks on this. This is a fresh install. Oh my god, these dogs are going insane. Yeah, I guess I should probably Are there any more questions real quick? I'm not sure what these dogs want, but it's probably a good time to kill the stream. But I will, yeah, I'll answer some quick questions if you have any. Oh, and Alexander, if you're wondering about JavaScript, keep an eye on this channel because I do have some JavaScript projects coming up. Like I said, I have that whiskey one. I also have, and the guys from the Facebook group, Tommy and Leo, I'm sure you guys have seen those posts between me and Chris. I won't say his last name on the internet. Yeah, I remember this time. Yeah, Alexander, just subscribe and you can turn on notifications. I sound like one of those YouTube shills, right? Like subscribe and turn on the notifications. I work for a living, so I won't like bug you with tons of notifications. I'll live stream next time I get a chance, hopefully the next day or two. But yeah, don't be afraid to turn on notifications for the channel because it's not going to be like, I probably won't even monetize the channel because what am I gonna make, like $5 a year, right? Like, so yeah, turn on notifications and then something will pop up on your phone next time I stream. But yeah, the project between me and Chris, well, my personal project, Bottle Hub, that's going to be JavaScript and running on Firebase for the back end, I think. I was just juggling the idea of Django on the back end earlier, but I'm probably going to go with Firebase. And then the project between me and Chris, he's going to do the back end in PHP, and we need some help for the front end. Front end's just going to be plain old HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. No like React and stuff, as far as I know. You said that you like... Oh, Elixir. Yeah, I do like Elixir. I really like Elixir. They have the pipeline operator, which I love. It's a functional programming language, first of all. If you don't know a programming language, do not learn Elixir. Elixir should not be your first programming language. Probably not even your second. But do learn Elixir eventually, because that is a great... It makes you think totally differently. And those who know a little bit JavaScript, you'll notice in my coding style, it may be a little strange. Like, I don't use for loops. I don't use var right here. I don't use var. You can also do this with let, the new var. I don't use let. It's different, and that's because I learned Elixir before learning JavaScript, and I came from a functional programming background. And JavaScript allows functional programming for the most part. And so if you're curious about that, definitely watch some of the streams. It's not that I recommend against doing, using let and for loops and stuff like that. It's just my Elixir is a puzzle language. Puzzle language. No. Elixir it's a functional programming language. It's Elixir-lang, maybe. Yes. Yes, this is Elixir. And this is a dev setup video, and I should have installed Elixir. If I use the Elixir, I'll install it at some point. But no, I don't know what you mean by puzzle language. It's a functional programming language. It's a different way of approaching things. Like things are immutable and there aren't objects. There are things that are similar to objects. I mean, they try to abstract from it, but maybe I'll do a fun video on Elixir at some point. Tommy asks how long it's going to take, I guess, me and Chris to complete that project. I have no idea. I don't know. I work all week. I think I work more than 40 hours. We don't really track time, but like I said, programming is a hobby for me. So I think I give them extra work for free. So it's sort of a side project, but it's for people learning to code, and it's open. Like if you're learning to code, please feel free to contribute to the project. And I want to live stream some of it, most of it, as much as I can. And hopefully that helps get other people on board. Hopefully it'll get people familiar with the project and everything. And people can contribute. And that would be awesome. Alexander says you have many plans for vids. Well, let's not call them plans. They're not promises. I'm sorry. Hold on. I'll be right back. All right. Sorry. Girlfriend just came home, so the dogs went insane. But yeah, I don't know if we should call them plans. They're possibilities. I don't want to promise anything because I work a lot. But yeah, they're hopefully that will happen. How about learning this emojicode.org? What the hell are you showing me, Alexander? Yep, that's what I thought it would be. They have a compiler. Okay. Oh my God. Now, it's echoing the emojis, right? Like that's not syntax, is it? Oh, look at that. They only have Mac and Linux. Such is the world of web dev. Yeah, I guess emojis are code in this language. What the hell? Flag, grape, watermelon is code. So if I had to guess, without really looking at it much, flag is a function. Grape is like an opening curly brace, and then watermelon is a closing brace, I guess. Well, I don't know. It looks like that's getting passed into a list. I'm not actually reading the text. I'm just looking at code and probably saying the wrong things. Well, on that note, I think this is where I say goodbye. Alexander's writing emoji code in the chat. All right. Well, yeah. Thanks for watching, you guys. That's actually more audience than I expected. You three. So cool. Yeah, like I said, subscribe, turn on notifications if you want to be notified. There will be probably not much content, so this channel will be easy to forget. But yeah, great hanging out with you guys. And feel free to replay it. I did pretty much the whole dev environment setup before anybody showed up. So check that out if you're curious on how I set up a dev environment in Linux. But yeah, see you guys later.